Yo, still bills. What's the deal, man? I just got off work. I'm beat. Like that type of day you have after a heavy workload, and the minute you sit down, you don't see yourself getting back up. That's how I am right now, man. And I still got to go to the store and go get my daughter, man. But peep game, man. I want to talk about something, man. I've seen a lot of people say, not a lot of people. It's one dude in particular, Champ Side, man, and man, I went and I looked. It had to be about a week ago. I looked at something, when Canelo decided that he wanted to sign the zone deal as opposed to the PBC deal, man. What he said just really baffled me, man. He said something along the lines of what type of champion you like. What type of champion doesn't want to fight the hard fights back to back to back? And my thing is, for one, he's done that. Secondly, what fighter in history does that? There's no big wig you can name, no great that you can name that didn't have softer touches in between bouts. Because it's illogical, man. Like, just think about how twisted this is. You want this man to, let's say Charlo is who y'all saying that he is, and Benavidez is who y'all are saying that he is, and Andre is who y'all are saying that he is. Y'all want this man to go in here and fight them consecutively, but you're not asking the same of them. Consecutively, like, think about the physical toll that boxing takes on you, man. Nobody dies in sport, participating in a sport like they do in boxing. We forget 2019, before the pandemic hit, it was like 13 deaths in the sport. Jeanette Cepeda just died last year. When's the last mixed martial artist or Thai fighter or kickboxer that you know that died? So you dig? Like, after a fight, you leave a piece of you in that ring, unless you just go in there and have a flawless performance where you're barely hit. But you don't know what a well-placed shot is going to do to you. You don't know what type of effect that's going to have on your motor skills. Your speech may slur as you coming out of that ring. And it could be a fight that you dominated, but he just hit you in that sweet spot with enough leverage to where it caused that type of effect on you. To where, you stammer a lot, and, it takes you a while to get the words out of your mouth, like Floyd Sr. You're real delayed in your speech. So if Charlo, Benavidez, and Andre are who y'all are proclaiming them to be, why aren't y'all asking that of them? Half of you dudes do not bang on Charlo for turning down the Andre fight. A lot of times y'all condone it. I don't hear any of y'all speaking. Nobody. It's Andre getting out of a fight with Jermell Charlo and telling Lara the same reason that Canelo gave about Andre gave that shit about Lara. He's boring. All he's gonna do is run. I don't hear y'all bang on him for that. I don't hear y'all bang on him for going and deciding to fight Jack Colkay instead of fighting nearest Landy Lara. I don't hear a lot of y'all, none of y'all speak on the fact that Canelo petitioned the IBF to get that Andre fight. I don't hear that. I don't hear that. I don't hear that at all. It's just it's confusing how you dudes operate, man. Y'all niggas is a trip. Y'all niggas is a trip. Y'all won't ask that from your favorite fighters, but y'all are gonna ask that for this dude. Think about how unfair that is. When you put in a certain amount of road work, you've earned that spot to, I'm gonna do what the fuck I wanna do. And none of y'all were as critical of Floyd when he was doing it. None of y'all were as critical of Floyd and decided to fight Marcos Maidana instead of Amir Khan. None of y'all were that critical of Floyd when he skirted away from Keith Thurman, as is mandatory. Matter of fact, Y'all bring up Floyd Mayweather every time Canelo Alvarez's name is mentioned. And by way, you know, according to y'all, y'all should be just as critical of Floyd Mayweather as y'all are for Canelo Alvarez. But you're not. It's kind of deplorable, man. It just looks like, yo, you dudes, y'all are not boxing fans, bro. And even if y'all are, you're not boxing fans that operates within the realm of reality. Canelo Alvarez, the only thing y'all seen in the DAZN deal is the third Golovkin fight, which is gonna do better than Charlo, than Andre, than Benavidez if he goes and he fights them. But that's all y'all see. Y'all don't see Bivol. Y'all don't want to say anything about a fight between him and Dimitri Bivol. Because according to y'all, man, he ducking, he running. Bro, when Canelo fought, just last year, y'all was saying he's ducking Bivol. Just last year, y'all had a lot to say about Bivol being more than willing to come down to 168 for a fight with Canelo. Y'all were clapping at him for that, and now that he's going to meet that man on his own home, you know, in his playing field, no rehydration clause and none of that goofy shit. Now y'all now it's a cherry pick. It's goofy. I've seen somebody say Bivol doesn't have the experience to deal with a Canelo. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Bivol, they're the same age. Canelo has more fights than him on a professional level because Canelo started younger. Bivol had what, 200 or 300 plus fights as an amateur. He has experience to deal with Canelo, and he's fighting at the highest level. You're not gonna you want to wait till what, 34, 35 for them to fight? That's the only way you're gonna see get the level of experience that you're asking out of Bivol. That's the only way you're gonna get that. And if Canelo just decides to take a brief hiatus. But y'all clapped at Canelo when he went up there and he fought Sergey Kovalev. Oh man, rehydration clause, looks fresh off a turnaround with Anthony Yard, yada yada yada. So now that he's meeting this man on his playing field, he's giving him enough time for a training camp, no rehydration clause, a full 175 pounds for your belt. Now you got a problem with that. Because it's not your Maul Charlo or Andre or Benavidez. When y'all will not ask for the same thing for, you know, for the fighters that y'all are pulling for. Makes no sense, G. Makes no sense whatsoever. Makes no sense whatsoever. None. This dude is giving up height, giving up reach. He's putting himself in a position where he can lose. I'm not even sure if Canelo wins this fight. I'm not sure. Because he's not going to be able to do like he did with Caleb Plant and kind of just walking down and just walk through his punches. He's not going to be able to do that with Bivol. I'm not so sure that he wins this fight. And on that aspect alone, that deserves a certain level of greatness and respect. How does Charlo, not Charlo, but how does Andre come out his mouth and say, oh man, it's just another Duncan thing? How is it? You're a bigger threat to Canelo than Dimitri Bivol? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Y'all was saying, oh man, who takes 85 million over 100 million? Now that he got 160 million, oh, he ducking, he still ducked the PBC fighters. Man, oh man, oh man. Y'all become stagnant because y'all are waiting for this man to send y'all an offer. Y'all are stagnant. Benavidez could have possibly been a unified world champion if his manager didn't fumble that shit. Charlo and Andre the same. I'm not mad at him for saying, yo, man, why do they have to wait on me? You did go fight each other, and I'll fight the winner of all of them. Why is that such a bad thing? In what world does, you know, I have to fight any and every individual that they say I'm ducking? There's 3 people that they're saying 4. Now that 4th is about to get, you know, they finna run that. Now it's 3 people that they're continually saying that he's ducking. And if he goes through all of them, it'll be that. Oh, he's ducking David Morrell. He's ducking David Morrell. Bro. Listen, man. Go fight each other. He shouldn't have to go through a. That's another. Oh, they don't want to go through a gauntlet of opponents, of back-to-back. He's doing that right now. Honestly, more accomplished fighters. Callum Smith more accomplished than any. They had the 2 division world champion stature over him. They have that in their, you know, in their favor. But none of them have never been rated the #1 in the division at any point in their careers. Andre, Charlo, Benavidez, they've never been that. We can say that, oh, they're the best in the division, but they've never been rated #1. Y'all damn sure ain't as accomplished as Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is good enough for Demetrius Andre, but he's not good enough for Canelo Alvarez. Because I guarantee you, if Saunders was to fight Andre first, y'all wouldn't have this type of animosity in y'all heart towards Canelo. Because to discredit a win over Billy Joe Saunders in favor of Canelo would be to discredit Demetrius Andre. It's the same thing with Golovkin and Charlo. Golovkin is good enough for Charlo, but he's not good enough for a trilogy with Canelo. I'm not mad at him for saying, go fight each other and I'll get the winner. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that? That's the logical thing to do, honestly. Especially when y'all don't ask that for your favorite fighter. It's simply about keeping the same fucking energy, bro. And that is something that y'all don't do. So I'm not mad at Canelo for this fight. I much rather I wanted to see Charlo and Canelo, but this is a far more difficult task at hand. And Dimitri Bivol ain't waiting in line with his hand out. So it is what it is, man. Now what them 3 niggas gonna do? Let's see. Doses.